Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you as always for joining me on my channel. So today we are going to talk about the C8 Corvette, and we are going to talk about the newest render, 3D CAD render that has come out online, and I want to share that with you guys. I absolutely love 3D CAD renders. I think they give you so much great perspective on the vehicle. You got to remember that 2D photos don't always do the best for perspective or presence of a vehicle. So these 3D CAD renders from every different type of angle give you such a good look at the car, and they've been tweaked. We've actually looked at one in the past, and the same gentleman has tweaked it over time and given us an even newer, better, refreshed look at the C8 Corvette. So I can't wait to show that to you guys because, again, I'm so excited about this. There's so much hype around it, so much interest, and I'm very interested because I want to purchase a C8 Corvette and share that with you guys on this channel. So I'm continuously keeping up with it on the mid-engine forums. I will put a link in the description. That's where I get all of my information, and you guys can follow up and get more information there as well. But let's go ahead and jump on into it, and as always, you're watching Full Throttle Drive. Alright, so before I actually go any further, I want to say thank you so much to the individual that has worked on these 3D renders. It takes a lot of work, and they put a lot of time and effort into it, and his name is Chaz Croner. That's what he goes by on the forums. He does such a great job, and he continuously updates us with his new 3D renders and just 2D renders as well, and they look so cool. But I want to make sure that he gets all of the credit. I, again, take no credit for these. I just simply find them on the forums and analyze them and share them with you guys so that I can make cool content and you guys can see the latest and greatest renders. So again, Chaz Croner, thank you again for all of your hard work. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and check out this 3D render. And so here it is as it's turning around. You can get a look from every different angle. It's just such a cool feature to be able to see this 3D CAD render. I really like it. So let's go ahead and I'm going to analyze all these different aspects that I feel I see on the car. So first we're going to start with the front hood, and the front hood really is unchanged. It still has that very angled front nose, and I think it is going to give it a very aggressive look. That in turn is going to give it a great road presence, especially from a distance. I think the C6 and especially the C7 do a great job at road presence. From a distance, you can see the cars coming up and they look so neat. They just have that great road presence feel of a nice sports car. We can then move on to the headlights, and I do think that the headlights are going to look a little bit different than previous generations. I think they're going to have a more aggressive look, less rounded corners than previous generations. Now the C6 had more rounded corners, then they got a little bit more aggressive with the C7. I think they're going to actually move it up just a notch for the C8. We're still going to see obviously the very, very rounded edges, but I think the overall look is going to be a bit more aggressive, a little bit more angular than the overall rounded look. Now moving on, we're going to check out the wheels, and to be honest with you guys, I am just not a huge fan of these wheels. I think as I look at them, they just don't quite do it for me, but everybody's got their opinion. Some people seem to like it. I personally just do not, but I will say Chaz Croner again is just using some of the wheels that we have seen on the test models that have actually been photographed. He's just simply recreating them for this render. Now we have seen several different types of wheel options on the different prototypes, and again, I just haven't been a fan of each of them. The only ones that I actually liked were the wheels that were found on what we speculate is possibly the race car version of the C8 mid-engine Corvette, but again, we don't know much information at all about that car or the wheels that were on them. Now I will say that I'm hoping there are different options when I do spec out my new C8 Corvette down the road, but if I cannot find some wheels that I like, there will be no shortage of aftermarket wheels that I can put on my new C8 Corvette. So now we can move to the side of the vehicle and we can actually look at that side panel, and it still has that very aggressive sweeping lines to it that backs up to the rear quarter panel that houses that side air intake. I really like the look of this. What I'm really liking is that two-tone look, and I'm hoping that there's an option for carbon fiber. Now we don't know if this is even a possibility or what the final option will actually have in it, but what we do know is that it will have this large side air intake. We also will see that that the side air intake still sweeps up onto the door, and that will give you the overhang from where the door latch will be. It'll probably be an electronic door latch that sits under that overhang, so it is a very large sweeping overhang, but I think it looks really cool on the side of the vehicle. Now, one thing that I did notice was Chazcron went ahead and extended the window past the door, and it's a very nice touch. I do want to say though, from what I've seen, I have not actually seen this part of the car uncovered. It's always been under camouflage. So my guess is he's actually just guessing that the window moves on, or he just likes the look of it and is hoping the final edition of the C8 actually has this. But for all we know, it could be the window ends there and actually just becomes a metal portion of the body. But again, I think it is a nice touch, and it would increase the driver's side visibility in the car. Again, another nice touch. From there, we're actually going to move on to the rear of the car, and as any of you guys that watch my previous videos know, this is where I have my probably biggest worry of the car, that it may have a Camaro look, and a lot of you guys agree it has that boxy Camaro look, and from angles this still exists even in this latest refresh of Chazcron's renderings. However, I will say there are some more aggressive touches. If you actually look at the top deck lid, you will see that it comes down to the center and then back up into place, which gives it a very nice aggressive look. It's just an overall nice touch that he's done, and hopefully the final rendition of the C8 will have this. You also have to remember that it will most likely sit lower than the Camaro, and that will help give it a dynamic look that will set it apart from the Camaro in general. Now, while we're in the back, you will notice the exhaust. They're kind of some squared off dual exhausts that give you an overall quad exhaust look. One thing that's really neat is that we have not seen this format of a dual exhaust on a Corvette in a long time. The last time we actually saw these cornered dual exhaust system was on the C4 Corvette, which actually ceased production in 1996. Since then, we've seen all of the Corvettes after that come with dual exhausts that come out of the center of the rear of the car. So if you can think about the C6 or the C7, they all have the dual rear coming out the center for the exhaust. So it's nice to see a different kind of throwback rendition of this exhaust system. Now, the final point that I do want to talk about is the rear glass. And this looks about perfect from what we have seen from rear spy shots. And this is going to be a huge defining piece of the Corvette. You got to remember, this is a huge platform change. The rear of the vehicle is now going to house the actual engine. Now, I do want to say my Audi R8 gets tons of attention, but it's not just due to the looks. It has a massive piece of glass showing off the heart of the engine, and while people like the looks, they get attracted to looking into the rear of my car, and I talked to a lot of them, and they really like that added touch that you can see not just on my Audi, you can see on Lamborghinis and Ferraris. So it's nice to see that we may see this from the C8. As you look at this rendering, you'll see that it does have a square opening, and it's a very angular piece of glass opening as well, with air vents coming down each side. And this, again, as you're seeing a picture of the actual spy shot, looks very close. He's got a very accurate look of this, and it just adds to the overall aggressive look of the vehicle. Well, guys, there you have it. That is the overall look and new renderings from Chazcron. Again, I like it. I think overall it looks really nice. Not every aspect I love though. I still think the rear of the vehicle is kind of up in the air for me. Until we see it actually debuted and in person, I'll know more, but I cannot wait for this car. I think it's going to be a great addition to my car collection, and I think I can share a lot of awesome information about it with you guys. But furthermore, I want to hear what you guys think. What did you like? Did you agree with some of my aspects? Disagree? Do you like some of them? Do you not like some of the aspects? Just again, love conversing with all of you guys. You guys are so much fun, and I truly appreciate all the support. So again, drop all of your comments below. If you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, please support me and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We would love to have you. And as always, take care. I'll see you next video.